Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Pant from Azure Developer Community, and we have started Welcome to the Tech Podcast series, where we bring the latest tech insights, stories from the world of innovation, tech, and entrepreneurship. We are host for today's podcast, and today we have our sparring guest with us, and we'll be deeply diving into the world of recruitment, tech, and how they are coming up together to reshape the future. We'll be very happy to discuss it together. And for the same, we have our guest today, Mr. Manikanth Challa, sir. So if you could introduce yourself first.
Hi, thanks, man. Hope everyone's doing well. Hi, this is Manikanth Challa. I'm the founder and CEO of Workruit. We are a career development and a recruitment, based startup based in Hyderabad.
So starting, just pivoting it from the first very point, sir. From where you came up to this point, like this is the industry which should work on. Can you share some inspiration behind working, creating a work recruit and India's, first, especially about the when we say AI powered resume builder, and there is also mentioned Tinder-style job search platform. What was the idea behind it?
So, going back into my background, I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. I did my schooling until 12th grade in Hyderabad, and I did go to the US to do my undergrad in Penn State University. So, in Penn State University, I've studied information science and technology and primarily focused on user experience and user interface. So this kind of experience gave me a good amount of initial exposure to what goes in building a product. And after my university, I've moved to New York, and I've had the pleasure of working directly with few founders on various other startups. One was in the fintech space, where we were trying to eliminate ATM machines and kind of make it easy for anybody who kind of withdraw cash. Rather than them going to an ATM machine, they could just go to a local hot dog or a newspaper vendor and request money through the application and interact with the provider and the consumer. The other platform or the company that I worked was with Dilmil, which was a social dating application, which kind of started as an inspiration from Tinder, especially for Southeast Asian individuals. So for these both organizations, I kind of worked as head of product, and there was another, B2B startup based in Palo Alto called Lotus Flare, where again I had the pleasure of working directly with founders who were ex Microsoft and ex Facebook professionals, where this experience working with them kind of gave me that initial aerial view perspective of what goes in building solutions, what goes in tackling problems, and how do you kind of convey or communicate to customers, whether it's a single customer or a twofold customers, as to what their challenges are and what sort of solutions you need to provide them, so you could make it easy on at their fingertips through a mobile app or like a website or a platform. So with these experience working in New York for a couple of years, I've always had the vision of moving back to India at some point. You do tend to fix a certain timeline, like let me move when I'm 30, let me move when I'm 40. But I got that opportunity very early in my career, where I was like, okay, I've had the experience. Let me, I took a break for a couple of months. After we've kind of launched a couple of these solutions in New York, and I was in India exploring different markets, and there was a rise of Geo as well, where it kind of exploded into a scenario where everybody was kind of having a mobile app, mobile phone, and using data.
Internet access, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so that push kind of that also kind of gave me a little push to explore more in the market, and I was kind of juggling between various ideas. One of the things that I was working or wanted to work primarily was to kind of create a platform where you could share your location while you're moving from point A to point B to your peers. And this was before Uber or Ola kind of came up with the location sharing, or like share your location to your peers.
Talking about when you said you were exploring the products, you are exploring multiple ideas. I just wanted to know from your experience what it goes into building a product. You have explored multiple dimensions of all the products. You were trying different problem, and then you saw a different problem that is much bigger than that you were trying to solve. So how this came into play, and what do you think, how does a product looks like, and what goes into building a product from an idea to product, if you can explain that journey to us.
So, it's very easy for us to kind of look at something and be like, okay, you know what, this could be better. But, the
Yes.
minute you actually look at from zero point 0.0 as to, okay, like this can be better, what is that? What are the pros and cons? What's the gap analysis? It's very important to understand what the current gap is in the market and to understand, okay, this is what people want and this is what is lacking, or this is how it could be better, or this is how. So, having that focus or a clear thought of, okay, what is the exact problem you're trying to solve is very important to begin with. Once you do come up with an idea, and it involves a lot of market research. You have to actually go in and understand what is being currently offered, what are the pain points that customers are facing, is it being offered in the right platform, or is it being offered in the right way that the customers or like, or your target audience understand. So all these initially do play a lot of major role for you to like have that product that is built which is catered
So this
to the
comes into
majority of your target
brainstorming part,
audience.
right?
Hmm?
Brainstorming thing, right? Brainstorming thing,
Yes,
brainstorming
it
thing.
is. It's definitely, yeah. I mean, you have to definitely have a lot of brainstorming that you need to do to begin with, but it's not just. It doesn't stop there, right? Like, you also have to see how you envision your product to solve the problem,
And
and
also, I would like to ask here, like at this, I'm really sorry to cut you off between. How do you think, like, because we are so much, we have, so much accessibility to tech right now. What if we try different products, and launch it in the market? Doesn't think about really about, these bigger terms like, making it bigger equity and everything, right? Just putting the tool in the market, and people are exploring if this could work out or not, and trying out every idea that comes to your mind. Is this could be a good approach to try and test in the market, and or whatnot, maybe, or working on a particular direction, or maybe brainstorming, right, try to find out the right idea or work out the right idea. What do you think about this?
see, if this was a question probably 10 years ago where there were lesser number of tools out there, the area of exploration towards anything that you came up would have made more sense or would have been easily accepted. But now people
Okay.
have become very picky. You just can't go and offer anything and everything that comes to your mind as an idea. You really need to find exactly what the pain point is, and that requires you to actually speak to a lot of customers and understand, what are the challenges that they're going through. So is probably why you see today probably a lot of solutions come in one industry, but only few look at that growth over the next 3 to 5 or 10 years down the line. And that's very important that we know is definitely have passion towards building something, but at the same time just passion isn't everything. Like, also have to be
Yes.
realistic and see,
Right.
where that, how do you scale it and how do you go from 0 to 1, and how do you hit your first customers and scale your growth from there.
Got it. So circling back to the initial question that we had, we were discussing about the work recruit. If you can just elaborate the work recruit platform from two different perspectives, from a recruiter perspective and from a one who is looking for the job perspective. If you can
Mhm.
just explain a little bit in a correct manner, sir.
Got it. Okay. So when I talk about Workroot, we have various stakeholders using Workroot. We have the job seekers, again, who could be students, who could be freshers, who could be entry level, and various other stakeholders. And you also have employers who are basically the talent seekers, who are looking at talent. And as part of starting with job seekers, Workroot is ideally a career development and recruitment platform where we do focus on users' journey, what is exactly required by a job seeker. Whether you're a student or a professional, you need to be able to build a professional resume. And it's very important that you are able to present your digital identity, your qualifications in a digital level today, because you are reaching out to people on various social networking platforms. You're forwarding your profile to various peers and family members or friends, for references. And so it's very ideal that a job seeker understands what is required in his CV. And once they
Okay.
do shape up their specific resume, the employers do have always the limit and then the control of posting what kind of opportunities that they want and whether they're finding the relevant candidates also. So overall, what happens is a company is looking at specific talent, and the job seekers are looking at specific jobs with specific qualifications. So it's very important you're showing relevant opportunities or relevant profiles to both the parties, and that's ideally where Workroot also comes into play.
Correct. And you have added this very unique feature, I would say, that swipe right feature. Could you walk us through the swipe right feature and how it works?
So, I mean, we'll dig into Workroot Resume Builder and the features of it a little later as we, continue our podcast. But speaking on the Workroot job search and recruitment, it's very simple. So, as the job seeker comes onto the platform and registers, or the employer comes and posts an opportunity, our engine automatically starts curating what are the recommended profiles, what are exactly meeting the criteria, and what could be suggested also if they're not really meeting the criteria. So both the parties are showcased with profiles of the opposite stakeholder on their dashboard, and then it's more of an interactive approach where they swipe right to get a job or swipe right to get matched, and they could open a communication channel and initiate a conversation with the other stakeholder. And
Okay.
that's where the initial conversation starts, and then employers are open to like scheduling interviews and taking it forward.
And how do you see the trend of building, the trend of AI in the market? Definitely, you are working at, very deep and dive into the AI part, because you have mentioned about matching the profiles with the right
Mhm.
getting the candidate the right job for him. That
Mhm.
match is always involves the AI part. So
Mhm.
how you are segregating it, and what especially you are using to find out the unique use case inside the work platforms?
Okay, so with Workroot, a major case of where we also utilize AI is with our resume builder. So
Okay.
when it might sound very specific, generic to you when I say resume, but there's a lot that goes into the what are the kind of relevant templates based on the industry. Let's say you're a student, you opt for a specific template and you opt for a specific domain. Is that template ideally accepted by employers across? That's where one element of where you also need to use a lot of experience and machine learning to cater to a lot of relevant users in the past using it. The second element is, now let's say I want to construct sentences for my CV. So let's say I'm in the field of marketing and I'm an entry level professional in the industry. So the kind of framework of sentences is also very important, because you don't want to come and say that you've done everything in the organization nor you've not done anything, and how you construct your sentences is also important. That's where we also kind of support with the AI writer and the AI resume writer to the job seekers. The second element is we do also do a job description to resume comparison. So let's say that you guys are hiring, and let's say for example a company is hiring for marketing professionals, and I have the job description available. I could just copy paste it, and then it kind of does an analysis immediately about, from the job title to experience to skills and education, whether it really meets the criteria of my CV, where I stand, what do I lack, what could I improve better. So this is a kind of job description to resume comparison also that our platform provides. And the third most important thing is we also provide an AI resume review, where it's very important. Lately, you see that a couple of years ago, you build a resume, I build a resume. We had to go to our peers or seniors or our siblings and be like, can you check if there are any spelling errors or if the grammar is right or not. So now we
Right.
are moving into a world of AI and automation where you don't really need another person to come and tell you whether your grammar is correct or not. You should be able to kind of understand it while using the platform. And so with Workroot AI resume, it tells you whether your usage of verbs is like, are you using strong verbs or weak verbs, whether you're actually using the right punctuation, whether there are spelling mistakes, whether you're framing the sentences properly, are you using a lot of pronouns, or are you actually saying the kind of impact that you create in the organization. So all of these aspects are included in this, and these are various elements of where we utilize AI in helping job seekers build profiles.
So are these solutions are paid, or maybe to some extent are they free of cost, or how it works out?
It's all a freemium model, so we do give a taste of all the features to all the users, where they come in and then they understand what each feature does, and what's the benefits of each feature. And in addition to that, there are definitely value added services where are provided and available for premium customers across the world.
Right. So if you can elaborate, so there has been multiple, advancement in the recruiting industry, and one of the
Correct.
One thing that I saw, and while we got introduced to AI, is AI interview things, right?
Correct.
Instead of a person taking the interview, AI coming into the play and
Correct.
AI taking the interviews. Now, how do you envision this, and what are your thoughts upon this, sir? Because you are
Okay.
working in the industry.
So, before I, take that question, I'd like to extend a little more of what Workroot also does. Is one of the very most important solutions or services we provide is we collaborate and we provide Workroot College Connect or Workroot Institutional Connect for educational institutions. So what we do is we allow the college to come in and then provide a platform for their students to build their digital profiles, where the
Okay.
college, let's say a placement officer, can completely assess and understand where their students stand, what are the kind of degrees or skills that they have, and what are the job domains that they're looking at opportunities. And we provide this mechanism where every user gets a unique resume URL, which is accessible by anybody. So these placement officers can actually reach out to 3,000 plus companies that are available on Workroute and then showcase their college talent to them. So this is how lately we've also seen a lot of education institutions adapt to Workroot, where they are not just assisting and providing a platform for their students to actually automate their CV creation or get ready for placements, also to immediately reach out to employers and let employers know this is a kind of talent we have in our organization or like our educational institution. You could come in for placements. This is the top skills that the students have, and this is the top degree or like the domain that people are interested in opportunities for. So this is one element of how we are assisting educational institutions make their placements better and also connect with companies.
Yeah, and how do you see work route evolving in maybe in the next few upcoming years, especially in terms of when we say user base and the features, especially the features, right?
Mhm.
Because at most you have integrated all the features, you are providing so many premium models. Now,
Correct.
what else you are looking for that can be something for for 10 years down the line that can be beneficial for the work recruit as a organization?
See, as we go, we've understood one thing post COVID is although people have adapted to work from office, work from home, there's also a lot of elements lately that you've seen post COVID that it's very important that people are coming and quickly taking up an internship or like a role for 3 months or like an opportunity, and they're able to be professional and proficient from wherever they work. And one thing in extent to what we look at, taking work to the next stage from workload, like being a resume builder, is the ability for customers or job seekers to quickly take up opportunities, not just build a CV. So one place is where you're coming in and you're building a profile, as well as you're quickly taking up work, and then the infrastructure is set in a way where you can take up this opportunity work from their office, or kind of explore job opportunities across the world. So this is very important because we're just not limiting ourselves to building a CV. The end aspect is to facilitate the job seeker in finding their employment opportunity. So that's ideally where what we also have planned in the coming years.
And also every industry has its own different challenges, and I just wanted to know what challenges did you face while developing and scaling work recruit, especially, and how did you overcome them, obviously, and especially when we talk about the recruitment industry, it's more of a flooded industry, right? And it's
Hmm.
if we talk about the scamsters and the fraudsters, it's very they're in the market, they're present in the market, like they're just biting the market from inside, right? like
Hmm.
and someone is putting their CV and someone else is giving the interview. So how do
Correct.
you see all these things happening, and what solution do we have, any solution at work recruit to
Yeah.
facilitate those solutions that eliminate all these scammers?
Yeah, we do. So, as part of Workroot, when we did create the resume builder, we've also included a couple of things like a video resume builder where you could quickly introduce yourself and you could share it, as well as what is important today is a lot of what references that you gave in terms of scamsters coming and then imposing as different people, it comes when you have a lot of physical documentation involved, which is not
Okay.
digitized. So when you do look at digitization, let's say I am on the resume builder, I create my profile, I get a unique URL which is forever accessible to me, and I could always keep it private or public. So when I'm going
Right.
for an interview, that translates whether my video introduction about myself is my resume, and then the employer also understands whether the URL is active, because you could create a fake document, but you cannot create a fake URL. End of the day, like,
Exactly.
your resume is pretty much this. So this is one element of how we're tackling this, because we understand, if somebody comes and gives us a paper, whether we don't know whether he's really created it or he's let somebody else do it. So with
Right.
this unique URL for every user, when you open it, you can pretty much know who the person is, their video introduction on the same platform, their resume on the same platform, and you'll also understand if they're part of an institution that's already certified on their resume, and then you can see that. So these are various initial elements of how we are making sure that such fraudulent aspects do not really occur in this industry or through Workroot.
Now, sir, as we come at the conclusion of this podcast, would you like to, give some advice to young, fellow developers, or maybe anyone who is looking for a job or trying to seek the opportunity in the industry? What piece of advice, like where the industry is moving, but how do you see the trends is moving, and what, or maybe one who is, just stepping into this ecosystem, the tech ecosystem, I will say, what, where should they focus right now, and how do you see the entire trend going on?
I mean, so one of the key, advice that I would give to anybody, especially freshers who are just getting out of college now, is their intent towards wanting to actually become something or do something is very important. Because if you have the right kind of thought process and the right aspect of, okay, this is where I would like to be in 5 years, this is what I would like to do, that automatically translates into you being very, active in what's trending. You're going to be very receptive towards taking the new advancements that come in technology. You'll also have that thirst for learning, rather than taking the back seat and being like, okay, I think I'm very comfortable being here. I think that intent is very important in the current generation that we see. And definitely to stay connected, and there are so many online tools now that are there. Rather than getting carried away, being involved in too many things, find the right mediums where you could also learn from others, as well as have a self learning. End of the day, I feel what you teach yourself is one of the best learnings that you could give yourself, rather than what you're being taught. And that ideally kind of helps you kind of focus on your career journey.
Right. So finally, any message of or words of inspiration you would like to share with our listeners, especially for the young aspiring entrepreneurs who are just looking forward to build some products, and maybe there's just some
Mhm.
job seeker in the audience.
I mean, see, if anybody's looking to build any products, what I would definitely say is dig into the problem more and kind of speak to customers, and just don't give up on your dream, because until and unless you build it and you kind of see the initial customers' reaction, is only when you would definitely know where this is headed. And just try to be more open towards criticism, because it's always good for you to get feedback which is good, and kind of which will help you get or make your product get better.
So thank you, sir. By this, we are
Thank
just
you.
concluding this podcast due to paucity of time. And thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. We are coming up with lots of new initiative, fresh new initiative just for you all. So thank you for joining us for this community, and thank you everyone for joining in. It's my pleasure to host
Thank
you, sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Nice talking to you.